In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to add a split screen effect in Premiere Pro, something similar to this. So back in our project, we've learned a lot about different styles, but I'm going to go to this shot right here where I'm slicing or scoring this bread. Here I have the bread, and I want to have the talking head video on the side of this frame. And in my original edit, I actually had two versions of this like so. So to start, let's put the split screen with my head on the left side of the frame and the one clip on the right hand side. To do this, let's move our talking head clip above the B-roll. Now you can see that the edge of this talking head clip starts before this B-roll starts. So to adjust just the end of the talking head video, I'm going to hold the Option key down, and now I can edit just the video or audio. If I hadn't selected the Option key, it would adjust both the video and audio, but now I can just click and drag the edit or the video in, and now I can bring that on top, and the audio stays the same, okay? So we have to do a couple things. First, I'm going to get rid of any sort of keyframes that were on this clip. You wouldn't have that if you started with a fresh clip and you weren't working with my project file that you might be working with. And then next, I'm just going to move this clip over using the position over like so. Now there's different ways to create a split screen, but the easiest is to take the crop effect, which is under your video effects and transform folders in your effects bin or panel, and drag that onto the talking head. And then now the settings for this crop effect, I can just drag the right percentage up. So you can create a split screen with sort of any clip. You could cut the top, the bottom, the left, the right, everything simply with this crop effect. Now, just a quick note too is, let me just turn off this track so we can see the bottom layer. Say I apply this crop to the bottom clip. If I want a perfect split screen in the middle, what I can do is I can go and set the left or right to 50%. And that's going to create a perfect crop right in the middle of your frame, okay? So that's just a quick note. So this is cool, but I want the position of this bottom clip, this B-roll, to be better. So I'm going to move this over. I'm actually going to scale it down because now that it's split screen, we can scale it down, and I'm going to put it up like so. Then I'm going to bring in, because I have two clips where I'm scoring bread. This is clip 16. I'm going to go and find clip 15, which is sort of a different angle. And I'm just going to put my in point, out point, and I'm going to drag this underneath. Wow, that's too long. So let's make it a lot shorter and then drag this underneath. I only need it to be the length of time of this clip. And now I'm going to go in my effects controls, and I'm going to make it smaller and drag it down. Now say I want a border in between these clips. There's different ways to do this, but what I'm going to do is add a white backdrop so that I have a white border between all of these clips. So I'm actually going to take all of these three clips and drag them up one track so that I have a blank track in the bottom. Now back in my project panel, I'm going to click the new item button and choose color matte, okay, and then choose the color that I'm going to want my border to be. This can be changed later, but I'm going to start with white. So I'm going to now drag this new white matte that appears in our project panel and put it underneath this file, or these clips on the first track. And now if I go through and I apply a crop effect to the other videos, because right now they're kind of layered on top of each other, I need to go in and crop them a little bit more. So for video 16, I'm going to have to crop the left part of that clip. I actually already had a crop effect on there. So let me just add a crop there, like so. And then I'm going to take the crop and apply it to video 15 and do the same thing. Now to get them to match up, I'm going to have to zoom in here. Let's go in. Let's go at 200%. Now I'm going to have to change the position of 15 just a little bit till they match up perfectly. Something like that looks pretty good. And now if I want to have a border between these two clips, I'm going to have to crop the top or the bottom of one of these. I'll crop the bottom of 16. Actually, since I want it to be a little bit lower, I'm going to have to crop both. So the bottom of 16 and the top of 15. Something like that looks pretty good. So that is now how you create a split screen with a border. Now, as always, there's different ways to do things, and you might find other methods of adding a border to a clip that we'll cover in a future lesson or with a different effect. But this is a quick way to do it with multiple shots that are in a split screen view or a grid view like this. All right, I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and now you know how to create a split screen grid effect in Premiere Pro. See you in the next lessons.